Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to House of the Swarm. The next matchup here is going to be Axiom's Crank taking on Acer MMA, and it's going to be an Antigua Shipyard.
What is going on? Not only you, Total Biscuit, but also to everyone in chat. I gotta say, I'm guilty as charged of reading way too many chat comments, and seems like people are liking it so far. They're kind of realizing that it's supposed to be a for-fun tournament, but at the same time, there is still money on the line, so it's kind of a nice balance.
Well, that and the fact there's some great games going on as well. I've seen some of the most entertaining games I've seen in a long time. That last game between Ryung and Mia was absolutely amazing. And let's see if we get something equally cool, because both of these guys right now, well, they have both played 2 games. They've won 1 and lost 1, so one of them's about to go 2 maps won, 1 map's lost, and 1 will go the other time around. And here it is, folks. Antigua Shipyard in the blue trunks. We've got the Protoss player Axiom Crank to the east.
And on the left side of the map, it is going to be none other than Acer's MMA. And you can see Crank there making fun of his name just a tiny little bit, which I can't blame him because it is indeed a hilarious in-game name with the NVIDIA. Of course, the map is Antigua Shipyard. Now, the main thing I'm curious to see in this game is we've seen Crank so far just try and force the late game, trying to rush for 3-3 upgrades, Zealot Legs, Storm, Archons, all of that. I want to know, is he going to try and do that again versus MMA? Because still, late game Protoss versus Terran is a force to be reckoned with.
That it is, certainly. We haven't seen airplay coming out of Crank as of yet, and that's what you can really do an awful lot of here. Ooh, craziness already. We're going to see an opening with gas first here. Don't appeal to me. I'm a caster. I'm not supposed to be here.
Yeah, I gotta say, this is not the tournament where we can control dropping nukes like I did with the Red Bull event. So they can beg for forgiveness as much as they can. They can pander to him by saying, I love you so much, but at the end of the day, we cannot move the opponent's minerals into the center of the map. None of that shenanigans. They're going to have to rely purely on their skill here, and but it never hurts. It never hurts to cater to John, I feel like.
Always a good thing. If you want good commentary, then comments like that might get you somewhere. What I'm saying is I'm basically open to flattery, and I'm a horribly biased caster. Ooh, okay. So that's actually a pretty early second gas here coming out of Crank. Interesting timing on 16 supply there.
Yeah, indeed. And we're definitely going to see exactly what their build in mind is going to be here. I mean, you can obviously they both have 1 Nexus and 1 Command Center right now. Is someone going to expand? Is someone going to be teching off of it? There's the second gas right now for Crank, very deliberately putting 2 probes there, finally transferring the third one into one of them, and it is going to be the Cyber Core. But this is a lot of gas really quickly from Crank.
Yeah, it really, really is. I have to wonder why. What's the purpose of that? We might see Stargate coming out of him, honestly. It is a possibility. But generally speaking, I'll tell you this. Crank favors Stargate against Zerg a lot, not against Terran. And thus far, he has had the opportunity to play all 3. This is his 3rd versus Terran he's going to be getting. And then, of course, he'll get to do PvZ, which is kind of his specialty matchup.
And the factory nearly completed here. We do have the reactor going to be going down. And you know, I don't have the metagame memorized so well to know whether it's going to be Widow Mines or Hellions. I think that they are both effective. I still think Widow Mines are going to be favoring versus a Protoss player just because you can kill the Stalker off like we saw before. You can kill the probes off like we saw before. So Crank has already succumbed and been a victim to the Widow Mine in the past. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that. Although we do see a starport going down right there in the main base.
All right, well, it's just going to be a Blue Flame Hellion drop by the looks of it, and I smell 1 base DT here, man. I really, really do. I don't see any other reason. The Twilight Council's kind of out of the way. He's patrolling a lot with these Stalkers, and he hasn't expanded, and he's been mining gas from the start. With the Twilight Council, it's possible he could go for Blink here, but only on 1 gateway. It just seems to me more likely that we're going to see Dark Templar.
Yeah, especially since we have, as you mentioned, the 1 gateway. I'm kind of curious of the Mothership Core, what its role is going to be playing if he does decide to go for that. Remember that the Dark Shrine does cost a lot less than it used to, and Blink, yep, is going to be on the way. So where are the extra gateways, though? That's the question. There they go. Finally going to be dropping down those 2 extra size not to expand. It does look like this will be scouted. The Hellions just rolling right on it. A couple probes should be able to deal with this, but is enough to still do a slight amount of damage. And the Hellion right there, can he get 1 more kill? Not today.
Well, this is 4 gate on 1 base with Blink Stalker and probably using the Mothership Core actually to see up the ramp. that would be something that I would imagine he would do. Means he doesn't need an observer, so he can blink right into the base. So it's a one base, really aggressive, all-in-ish style play here from Crank, and I don't know whether or not that's going to work out well for him. We'll find out. A quick lift up, nice move there by MMA to lift those Hellions around the place, dump them somewhere a little bit safe. He's going to move around, and he's kind of delaying this. Now, the question is, where is... There's no pylon down yet for this.
Yeah, and also, there's the overcharge on the Nexus to try and deal with this. Now, the Stalkers were attempting to intercept here, but they were out of position. But guess what? Nexuses are kind of evil now. They will kill you so quickly with that crazy long range. That drop gets locked down. The thing I'm curious about is, why did MMA go for another command center here when the attack is obviously going to be a 4-gate off of one base, which is huge.
He's confident, man. If he holds it, then he's so far ahead. Like, that's the thing. He can sit there on one base, but it's best if he builds a CC. Oh, nicely shut down. Great interception there by by Crank. He's also trying to take the Viking down as well, which means the Mothership Core will be able to act with impunity, which would be really, really nice. But yeah, Blink is about done. So using the Mothership Core, he could blink up into the main here, and there's actually not a lot to stop it. MMA he only has 1 Marine and 4 Widow Mines.
Too much. He's gonna lose a Stalker there. You know, the battle isn't won yet, Craig.
He's got to deal with the Widow Mines.
Especially with more Widow Mines. There's one right there. Goodbye, Stalkers. It will slowly lower your Stalker count. You definitely have to use the Envision ability there. I feel like, you know, as a new expansion, you kind of forget, oh, there are Widow Mines in this game. Needs to make sure to clean that out. Needs to make sure not to lose the Mothership Core to Widow Mines. Taking some hits here from the Vikings. If he doesn't kill the Widow Mines in time, ow, he doesn't do it.
Oh,
no,
that's a save.
The Stalker's in a pretty good spot.
That is very true, man. I mean, MMA needs to stop this, and he doesn't really have a lot of units to do it with. He's working on more Hellions and more Marauders, also trying to deploy the Widow Mines in a good spot, but great target for... Oh, Crank's actually not able to get that in time there. And he actually repairs his own Widow Mine, trying to surround this as best he can. If MMA holds this will be incredible. He nails down yet another one. This is great play, actually, by MMA to hold this down. There are still only 9 SCVs, though, so he cleans this up with excellent defense, but 25 workers killed there by Crank. And, well, the double CC might allow him to get back in this game, but it's going to be pretty tough.
It's going to be tough indeed, especially with 4 Stalkers here, because you got to remember that there's only 2 Marauders in this army. The Stalkers can deal with everything else quite easily. The Vikings do count as an armored unit, so no matter where they're landed or in the air, they're going to be taking extra damage from these Stalkers. So honestly, Crank could just follow this up with more and more Stalkers to try and end it. It does look like, though, he realizes he's ahead. He does have a probe in position here to do this, but he actually warps in more Stalkers here with the Observer to follow it up. So Crank looks like he's not quite done just yet.
Yeah, he's all in at this point, I suppose. But the amount of damage he's done, actually, he could fall back on an expansion very easily. But he really wants to make this work. And the Mothership Core allows for this kind of 4-gate aggressive play. And, oh, this is a terrible idea. Oh, he needs it. No emergency booster being used in time, and the drop was completely shut down there by Crank, and MMA's in huge trouble now.
Yeah, and you can see the thought process for MMA is a good one. Get his economy back on track, try and do drops to get the army out of position, to buy himself some time, and try and use the Vikings to kill the Mothership Core. It's all good ideas. Unfortunately, the execution on all fronts has not been panning out whatsoever. The Widow Mine's on the high ground to try and spot and deal with those Stalkers, but now the Observer's on the field. Remember, Widow Mines do not kill cloaked units, so it's very safe for this Observer now, unless a scan goes down, but he does not want to scan because he needs those mules, and it looks like Crank, I think, making the correct choice here, not going for the expansion, and instead going for the kill.
Crank's going to be deploying the BM builds right here, which is pretty damn effective, honestly, and that is the Observer taken down, which is nice, but I don't know if MMA can hold here. He just doesn't have the units he needs. Crank's got so many Stalkers coming up here, and MMA is falling back and doesn't really have anything to... He can't kill his Mothership Core. He's got nothing to shoot it with.
Yeah, remember, the Mothership Core not only detects, it also shoots, and MMA doing everything he can here, but that was his last unit. I mean, look at the unit stat. He literally has 1 Widow Mine. And there's the GG, as Crank able to take that game. Gonna be getting his 2nd win here. And I gotta say, MMA was very, very confident there. He scouted a 4-gate and then immediately dropped the command center, which is not the response you would expect there. I think he just didn't realize, you know, the Mothership Core is going to play a vital role in those battles. You're going to use it to detect. So somewhere along the line, I think he either forgot about a new unit or had a slight misread